salam and salutation on our beloved Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, whatever musibah reaches you in the earth or in yourself, it was decreed in the book of Lawh Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, before that musibah was created, before that insan was created. And this is easy for Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, the affairs of the believers are wonderful, they are awesome, because if a good and happiness befalls that person, if a favor were to befall the believer, they praise Allah and they show gratitude, and that is good for them to get the reward. Even if something bad were to happen to that believer and they make sabr, that is also they get rewarded for, and this is only for the believer. My believing brothers and sisters in Islam, as we look around or we hear, anywhere we look or anywhere we hear, there is struggling and hardship and difficulty. The question is this common? Should this happen? And especially for Muslims. Those Muslims that they're praying, they're making dua, and then sometimes shaitan brings this waswasa, whisper in our mind, that why? Why this difficulty is coming on me? Why my life is so hard? I'm a believer, I believe in Allah. This should happen to those people who are wicked. This should happen to those people who are evil, not me. We are believing people. So is this the right question, and is this the way the believer should think? So to understand this, to begin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions an amazing verse in the Quran. He says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. The word kabad means struggle and hardship. That we have created human beings, not only Muslims. We have created human beings in struggle from the time of conception to the time of pregnancy to the time of birth, and during the whole life of insan, human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, they will be struggle. And if you were to forget this, then maut and death will come at the end to remind you that as long as you are in this world, the struggle will come. So number one, the struggle and difficulty and hardship will come on everyone. However, this is not only a Muslim problem. It's a humanity problem. But because we are Muslims, that's why the struggle is more highlighted to us that's happening to the Muslim here and abroad and throughout the world. But difficulty on insan, this is part of life. That's number one we should understand. If you understand this, it helps us to navigate when the difficulty and struggle come to us, that we cannot escape this. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the ayah, whatever musibah reaches you, in the earth or in yourself, meaning in terms of natural disaster, if we're talking about the weather, or any other natural disaster, this is from Allah. Whatever happens to you, whether you get sick, whether you need a surgery, whether you need a kidney, whether you need a heart, or whatever you lost your job, whatever the circumstance, whatever your struggle might be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you understand this ayah, this might help us navigate our struggles. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is in the Lawh Mahfuz. This was written before you were created. You and your problems were written before you were created. That this person, and this will be his struggle. And if you notice, I'm using the word struggle. I'm using the word difficulty. I'm not using the word punishment. Which leads to the next question. That when this difficulty and hardship come on a person, then there are two types of mind, or two types of heart. One might say that, okay, this is min Allah. This is a hardship and struggle and a test from Allah. And the person who thinks like this is good for them, and I'll explain. So we're using the word test. The next type of heart and mind will say that this is a punishment. Unfortunately,